Come read with me. This is Violet Calkins, and I'm reading from my book, the second in a series of As I Recall, and it's called It Takes Two, A Little Bit Me and a Little Bit You. And this is Dell's voice here. Something different. Vietnam was a no front lines war because there was no constant heavy artillery and because there was no constant bombing on the part of the enemy like in World War II. They were being attacked on the front lines by insurmountable forces. Tanks and airplanes were flying over them and bombing them. Vietnam wasn't like that. There was no front line. There were isolated battles and lots of people died, obviously, during those battles. But a big part of our tour was just surviving the weather, the environment, and all the other things. The enemy had mortars, recoilless rifles. They had machine guns. The only thing they didn't have was an air force. They had tanks they got from Germany and Russia, but they weren't where we were. They were used down south, but they didn't have much. So their battles were hit-and-run guerrilla warfare. The enemy used sniper attacks and booby traps. They had all kinds of booby traps. There were punji sticks. They took bamboo and sharpened it and took human waste and smeared it, and then buried them in the rice paddies alongside the road. Then they would wait for the soldiers to come marching by. They would open fire when the soldiers would run into the rice paddies for cover. They would fall on the punji stakes, and they would get terrible infections that couldn't be cured. They had booby traps like you step on, and as soon as you step off, it flies up about 10 to 14 inches and explodes, sending metal shrapnel all over. The stuff in the movies, as you have seen it in Rambo. They had stakes in the limbs that are pulled back. When you trip the wire, it comes forward and gets you. They booby-trapped all old Vietnamese bunkers, so that when you went in to clear them, if you weren't careful, you would get blown up. There was all kinds of stuff. I heard about them using kids, but I never saw any of that happen.